Hey everyone, welcome to Alchemy with Zero Phase. My name is Eric, and I'm thrilled to have you here. Thank you for joining me as we explore the fascinating world of AI art and creative tools. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more tutorials, tips, and fun experiments. Also, if you're looking to elevate your own creative process, check out ZeroGen, our powerful prompt and image generation platform. You can start using the free version today or take advantage of our 3-day free trial for even more features. Check out the link in the description or on the main channel page. Now, let's dive into today's video. Hey everyone, welcome to the video. I thought it would be fun to take a little bit of time here and kind of show you how to build your own prompt generator. And the techniques in this could apply towards generating making a prompt generator for Flux, for Leonardo, for what's the other one? I don't get into it very often anymore. Gosh. Well, I mean, even for the video generators like Kling or even the audio generators. As a lot of you know, I have my own prompt generators online. I've just recently reduced the subscription to it to $3. As you know, over the months I've been really tracking the costs on that, and when they came out with the GPT-4o Mini, the costs just went through the floor. So didn't feel any qualms about dropping the price on that. So for those of you who are currently subscribed, you can unsubscribe and resubscribe to the new subscription price and get a great deal on that. So but I want to show you kind of like my process for creating this. I thought it'd be kind of fun to show that to you. So what I want to do, we're going to start in ChatGPT, because that's primarily what I use to create this. And the new open source models have actually improved substantially. And I believe the new Llama 3.1, I know they got 3.2 out now. I haven't had a chance to test it. But the 3.1 model actually works with my prompt generators that I use, and I've taken time to actually recreate a real basic one using a short seed prompt. And let's go through and show you how I do that. So when you're creating a seed prompt, you really want to start by distilling what it is you want to do and break it down. So we wanted to create a prompt. Now, and I usually start off with like, how long do I want that prompt? And what is it that I want that prompt to do? I want it to, like in this case, we're going to create a prompt generator for Flux, okay? I know a lot of you are really enthused by Flux, and the prompt generator I have works amazing. It incorporates being able to incorporate text into it, so you can get text in your images. I don't know if we'll go that far in this one, but we're going to at least start. So I'll start off by telling it what it is I want it to do and what my expected output is. And so let's start there. I want you to imagine that you are a world-renowned artist, well-versed in the verbiage and vernacular in the art world, period. You are a highly creative individual capable of coming up with many wonderful creative ideas, period. I know I feel like I was being a little redundant there, but that's okay. This just gets it started. Okay, this kind of sets the tone for it. Your job is to take the user input and creatively expound and add to that description to create a single paragraph. Now this is kind of where we get into what do we want this paragraph to look like. So I'm going to limit it to 50 words. So we're going to say 50-word paragraph. That utilizes only visually descriptive words. Let's redo that. Let's actually rethink this. Your job is to take the user input and creatively expound and add to that description to create a single 50-word paragraph that utilizes, no, that's right, 2 to 3 visually descriptive words per detail. Period. You will be describing the details of this image that they are requesting. Period. It is okay to add details and to be creative in expounding on the user's idea. This is going to be super basic. Sorry. This is going to be super basic in the sense that, like, my prompt generators, I go into a lot of detail. I tell it, like, I don't want you using is and particle words, and depending on which generator. Other generators I want it to be a narrative. Other generators I want it to put it in a very specific order, and we might get into that here. So let's continue on here. You'll be describing the details of this image that they are requesting. It is okay to add details and to be creative in expounding on the user's idea. You will limit this paragraph to only 50 words. Period. Sometimes you have to re-emphasize something that's very important to you. Like, if you only want that paragraph to be 50 words long, then reiterate it a couple of times in your prompt. Okay. So because we want this to be very concise and compact, that's what we're going to instruct it to do. I want you to be very concise and efficient in your description, leaving out unnecessary words and descriptions that may involve sound, smells, or anything that just cannot be seen. Period. This will help get the AI to focus on keeping it compact but fitting as much description into the prompt as possible. So we can also tell it that we want it to call it a prompt. So we can actually come up here where we tell it your job is to take the user input, create and expound, and add to that description to create a single 50-word paragraph that we will call a prompt that utilizes 2 to 3 visually descriptive words per detail. You will be describing the details of this image that they are requesting. It is okay to add details to be creative in expounding on the user's idea. You will limit holding to the theme of the user request. You will limit this paragraph to only 50 visually. Again, we're going to re-emphasize this. Visually descriptive words. Wanting to be very concise and efficient in your description, leaving out unnecessary words and descriptions that may involve sound, smells, or anything that just cannot be seen. So now we're going to come down to a second paragraph here. Sometimes I like to break these up. And just for organizational purposes, this paragraph I could separate into a couple different paragraphs, but the AI doesn't really care about that. But for visual purposes, for me to be able to organize this, sometimes it helps to do that. So now what we're going to do is, let's see, where are we at? Description that may include seen. The user may request multiple prompts. Oops. By indicating this at the beginning of their request. For example, and here's where you're helping the AI to understand what you mean. So 3 prompts. or 4 prompts, or 2 prompts. And I don't want to, so historically, when I was working with GPT 3.5, if I included quotes around stuff, it kind of started including that in the prompts that were generated. I don't think I have that problem now with the newer version. It's pretty intelligent and understands that I'm just using these as an example. Okay. Let's see, what else? We can test it and just kind of see. And you're going to go through iterations on this. So you're going to test it, find something you don't like, go back, change it. And that's what we're going to do here. But one last thing we want to do. If you understand this, comma, your only response at this point should be, then we specify what we want it to, how we want it to respond initially. To ask the user what kind of prompt you can describe for them. Something else we may want to do is, let's see, take your book, okay. I think we need to tell it what our expected output is, so that we're not getting it responding with, comments of its own, like, oh yeah, sure, I can do that. I hate it when it does. I just want it to give prompts. So we're going to tell it that. So we're going to shift enter down here. Your only expected output are the resultant prompts. I don't know if I like that, but let's see. Your only expected output are prompts requested with no commentary, comma, no preamble, comma, no instructions, or anything else, period. If multiple prompts are requested, you will include a blank line between each paragraph or prompt, period. For formatting purposes, I always include a blank line. It really helped when developing my prompt generator, especially when developing it for the online subscription model. It allowed me to separate it into editable fields. Just having that blank line there makes it a lot easier to read too. And the AI is pretty good at interpreting that. We'll see if it understands it when we request multiple prompts. Okay. If multiple prompts are requested, you will include a blank line between each paragraph or prompt. Depending on how it interprets this, it may try to number the prompts, and we may have to tell it not to, but let's see what it does. So we're going to go ahead and submit this and just see what it does. And we are using the GPT-4o model. We could use O1 Mini or switch over to the GPT-4o Mini. I think we're going to go to the GPT-4o Mini because it's the fastest, least expensive. And this is what we get. What kind of prompt can I describe for you? Okay, great. That's what we wanted. And it has all the instructions. So now we can come in here and say portrait painting of a ugly gargoyle. Oops. That's apparently not how you spell it. So there we go. And let's see what it does. And that's great. Let's see. A grotesque gargoyle with jagged features and a twisted expression perched atop a crumbling stone wall. Its bulging eyes glistening menacingly, framed by moss-covered edges. Weathered stone skin exhibits intricate carvings, while sharp claws grip the ledge. Dim, muted colors evoke a haunting yet captivating aura. That's actually really good. I like the order in which it described it too. So we got the main subject, kind of describing the details around that, describing the immediate surroundings. It kind of goes back to it. I don't necessarily like that it describes it describes kind of the action, which is good. So it's perched on a stone wall. Now it goes back to describing the bulging eyes, moss-covered edges, and then it describes weathered stone skin. So it's going into quite a bit of detail. So we're going to get a very close-up image of this gargoyle. Now, part of doing this is testing the prompts and finding out if it works. Now, Flux is great at interpreting and understanding prompts, but what this comes down to is refining that. And so we are going to test this. We're going to bring this over here, drop that in there. I am currently set up with I got Flux Chanel Dev Merge Q4. We're doing 896 by 1152. We're going to drop the steps down to 6 on this. We're going to grab that prompt and just see what it looks like. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, we're getting, the gargoyle, we got the moss. It's kind of a straight on view. One of the things I did do in my prompts is instructed the AI to include like a camera angle or the composition of the image. Really, because if you don't, you're going to get these straight on images a lot. And it's not really describing it as, it says it's a captivating and eerie portrait, but it's not really describing it as a painting. So let's go into this and we're going to kind of decide, okay, we need to tell it that this is a painting. And in my experience, so what we're going to do, we're going to tell it how we want to structure this prompt. And so let's say down here, we're going to come in here, we're going to say a structure of a prompt. The following is the order in which you will describe or provide the details in each prompt requested. Okay. Actually, I want to test something real quick here, see if it gets the multiple prompts. We're going to go 3 prompts. Yep, good. Okay. And they're about the same size, which is good. And yeah, okay, so good. So let's come back up here. What we're doing is we're saying structure of a prompt. The following, we're gonna go down one more. The following is the order in which you will describe or provide the details in each prompt requested. And now what we're gonna do is describe the prompt. Oops. Okay, so at the beginning, again, we may need to preempt this with another instruction if we want to include text, but we're not going to include text yet. Meaning, telling the AI to intuitively interpret the user request to understand if they're requesting text in the image. It's like saying, a fairy holding a sign that says, "Welcome all gnomes," and the AI can intuitively interpret that and then structure the prompt accordingly so you get the best result for your text. We'll figure that out here in a little bit. But in the meantime, my understanding, in fact, let's do this. I want to bring up my prompt generator. We're gonna use that as an example. Give me just a second here. Bring this over. Okay, we're gonna set this over to Flux. Because I do have this one set up, and I don't remember the exact order. We're just going to have it generate a random prompt here. Yeah, no. Let's do to see sci-fi epic. Okay. So this one here, we're describing the primary focus of the image. And then we get into the surrounding focus. And then we describe the, the composition or view. Then we start describing the medium, epic digital painting with vivid hues, contrasting shadows. Okay, so let's do this. We want, let's come back over here. So we're going to describe prompt equals describe details of primary focus or subject of the image, actions and other details around primary subject. And then we go into composition. So we're going to say image composition or using my brain starts going on, do I need to just have it describe, do I need to describe further what I mean by image composition? I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it image composition, camera angle or viewing angle in image being described. Okay, now we want to do describing the background. So we're going to say background. Actually, no, we're going to work our way outward. So surrounding environment. Background. And then we want to describe what we go into next. Oh, we want to describe the medium. So the medium, so we're going to say the art medium or photography type being used to create the image. We're going to leave it at that. 4.0 mini is pretty smart. And with 3.5, I really had to go into detail about what it was that I meant by like art medium, that kind of thing. And we may have to give it some example prompts, but we'll build up from that. The whole point is to start getting a prompt, and then we can use those prompts to kind of build up from there. So art medium or photography type being used to create the image. So we got our medium, and now we're going to do lighting, ambient, sorry, not ambient, lighting, emotion, and color theming of the image. Okay, so this gives us a basic structure. We're telling it the prompt equals this, okay? And we could give it an example. We say, okay, here's an example prompt. I hate using example prompts. I do use them in my main prompts, like when generating these. But I typically will go through and try to refine that and get rid of them because it adds a bias to the prompts. Like if you're just generating random prompts, like I think my Stable Diffusion prompt generator is pretty well developed. I'm still working on the Flux one. There's still some things I don't like in it because I'm using too many example prompts. So we're not going to use any example prompts in this. So we're going to send this and see if we get something that's structured a little bit better that includes the art medium. So let's save that. It comes down here, and we're going to say abstract painting of a black hole. So I don't like that it is saying canvas, an expansive canvas. The reason for this is because when you include details like that in your prompt, what you end up with are images that typically have a canvas, like it does an art studio with a canvas. and on that canvas is the image you're looking for. And so we're going to have to get rid of that. So, but let's see what else. We're in a black hole. So there's the primary mesmerizing black hole. That's fine. I don't mind the whole mesmerizing because it does add to the effect of the image. Swirling deep indigo and vibrant cerulean hues. I do like that it added color there. Cosmic tendrils of shimmering silver and gold spiral. So it's kind of working its way out. Capturing the viewer's gaze. See, again, we're going to have to instruct it, say, hey, you're describing the painting itself. Details, you're not describing it as painting on a canvas anywhere else. So we're going to have to figure out how to get it to stop doing that, because capturing the viewer's gaze, we don't care that it's capturing the viewer's gaze. The perspective, slightly tilted, evokes a sense of infinity. Okay, I don't mind that. That's fine. We want it to say slightly tilted perspective. Instead of the perspective slightly tilted, evokes a sense of infinity, ethereal glow, enhances this piece, creating a dynamic interplay of light and shadow. So, sorry, we're going to have to get very specific, but we got to break this right here where it's saying an expansive canvas. Okay, so let's come back up here and we're going to start a section here called rules or extended instructions. So we're going to say you will never describe God, see, and that's the difficult part, is because in the future you may want to describe an image that is an image of, say, an art gallery with other images in the image. So what we're going to do is describe the this is the riddle. Hold on, let me think. So just so you know, I'm trying to do this without going back to my original seed prompts. Okay, so this may take a minute to kind of reconnect with how you word this so that you get a specific type of result. Give me just a second. Let's give this a try. Only describe the details in the image requested. You will never describe any third party viewing the image. There's a lot of study I did into the other prompts, but I think we should be able to achieve a basic structure on this. I actually did a lot of studying on grammar and a lot of vernacular that we use in our language when we talk and when we're describing stuff that we didn't need in the image, so that I could get the prompts properly in my prompt generators. So let's see, you will only describe the details in the image requested. You will never describe any third party persons viewing the image. Let's see. How about this? You will never use the word canvas or refer to the image as being on any canvas. That might actually help right there. So let's give that a try. So we're going to test it out again. We're going to say a deep colored oil painting of a sad woman sitting under a tree. sorrowful woman with cascading dark hair sits beneath a sprawling, gnarled tree, her expressive eyes reflecting deep melancholy. Rich, vibrant hues envelop the scene, capturing the essence of twilight. The composition viewed from a low angle. Okay, so that's the next thing we gotta fix, is how it's describing the composition. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna help it to be a lot more efficient. When describing the composition of the art piece or photo, you will be, no, we can be more efficient. You will be very concise when describing the composition of the image. So we're going to use this one as the example again, but we got a copy here so we can come back and paste this in. So this same technique of building this is going to work when using an open source LLM. Okay, so we'll just get down here to a moody twilight base. Okay, so tree soft, rich oil strokes capture the texture, bark contrast, and other features. Moody twilight base scene. Purple hues evoking a poignant atmosphere of solitude. So it did not include the art style. Oops, I guess I didn't need to go that far back. Let's try that again. This is going to be the difficult part, is how many times you have to, there we go, the painting's oil. The fact that it didn't get it the first time. So here's where, we may need to use an example prompt. Like if we get a prompt that we like, a melancholic woman draped in flowing deep hued garments sits beneath a sprawling gnarled tree. Her downcast eyes reflect sorrow while vibrant foliage surrounds. This is a great description, creating a rich contrast. The painting's oil medium enhances texture with soft, diffuse lighting, casting gentle shadows, evoking an emotional, introspective atmosphere. So that's not bad. That's pretty good. Let's copy that and just come over here and throw that in. Generate that. Yeah, that is a good result. That is definitely got the oil painting feel, which that's what I wanted. Very deep, rich colors under a gnarled tree, held to the prompt very well balanced. It didn't. Here's the thing. It didn't. Rich paintings, oil medium, and a soft fuse, cast light shadows. Yeah, so it did not include oil medium. Yeah, it didn't include the composition. I think that's important when generating these images, because it does give you a lot of control over how the image is laid out, because there's a lot of different composition types. You have centered, you have off-centered, or super basic ones. Rule of thirds, golden ratio. There's a lot of different composition styles that'll give you a lot more variance in the images that you're doing. Even doing triptych and was it diptych composition styles where you're trying to split the image into 2 or 3 segments. And so it's important to help the AI understand that composition needs to be included. So let's come back up here to where we're detailing the structure of the prompt. So prompt structure, we're going to go primary focus. We're going to leave that primary focus or subject of the image, actions and other details around primary subject, image composition, and layout. One thing that you'll learn when dealing with AI is when you give it more details around something, it forces the AI to start focusing on that. So adding a few more words to detail image composition and layout, oh, we got to include this in it. Camera angle or viewing angle in image being described. Okay, so let's see if these changes for the composition do anything. We may have to add some more details to this, but let's just see what it does. So let's grab again this, send, throw that back in there. Deep color oil painting of a sad woman sitting under a tree. The composition balances her soft, solitary figure against the lush, textured bark. Okay, yeah, I don't like that. I want a very specific composition. So let's come up here. Let's do this. We're going to come down and say when you will be very concise and specific in the type of composition being used in the image. Very concise and specific in the type of composition being used. For example, centered, off-centered, rule of thirds, etc. It's okay to use other types of specific compositions. All right, let's give that a try. The composition is centered with vibrant, rich hues and blue. Okay, good. It's actually using color to flowing spelling on all trees, deep emotion, centered, rich hues, scene. So let's do this. I want to do this a little bit further. This will be a landscape-oriented image. Oops. Contrast, the landscape composition features her off-center. So that's better. The landscape composition captures her off-centered, evoking an isolation, soft, dappled sunlight. Okay, we got the lighting, shadowing, gradient, twilight colors enhance the emotional depth. That's good. I like that. That's a good prompt. So now let's go here. We're gonna instead of being very specific about the image, we're just gonna say 2 prompts. Surprise me with photography. So we got majestic golden eagle soars gracefully against a vibrant blue sky, wings fully spread. The composition centers on the eagle, capturing the dynamic. Okay, so the eagle's going to be centered in the image. Mid-flight background features softly blurred mountain peaks. Okay, that's good. Yeah. It does describe what's in the background and how they appear in the image, illuminating a warm afternoon light. Okay, tranquil forest glade bathed in soft morning light reveals a carpet of delicate wildflowers. Hold on, check something here. We are okay. And vivid hues. The scene is composed using the rule of thirds, focused on a single blooming flower in the foreground. Mist gently weaves. Okay, so these look like great prompts. Let's grab this one. Let's just test this first one. Again, we do testing so that we can see the prompt actually works, gives us what we want. I'm going to show you some extended advanced functionality that the AI gives you in being able to manipulate these. So we're going to change this over to a landscape view 11. Okay, let's change. Well, let's just go all the way up to 1280 by 768. Generate that. Yeah, so that prompt held perfectly. I mean, that's exactly what the prompt described, centered there. Okay, so let's grab the other one. This one is supposed to be a rule of thirds. So we're going to see how that holds to that. Throw that in there. Generate that. So that's not bad. It is holding to the prompt. I do like it better when it describes the composition more succinctly, like rule of thirds composition. instead of saying the scene is comprised using the rule of thirds composition or rule of thirds. It's a little too wordy for me. This did kind of hold to it fairly well, where we have three kind of distinct areas of the image. It's not bad. I'm not going to say it's great. So what we're going to do is come back over here and we're going to give an example of how to describe it. So we're going to say you will be very concise and specific in the type of composition being used in the image. For example, centered, off-centered, rule of thirds. So what we're going to do is add to these centered composition, off-centered composition, rule of thirds composition. Oops. And that should give us something a little more concise, hopefully. Now it's still saying the off-centered composition. Okay, so we are dealing with a Flux prompting. It does like the narrative a little bit better. Rule of thirds, the off-centered composition. Let's see if it uses anything else other than those that I specified. So we're going to do 5 prompts. So we got rule of thirds. Neons has flicker in the light, 4 or 5 rates, pulse of city life. That doesn't specify. Macro shot, centers. Okay, so it's incorporating the composition in that. Keep getting interrupted here. Get phone calls that come in. Okay, so these actually aren't bad. Like, we do see that they are incorporating some basic, like this one didn't have it, but maybe it does. It's just how the type of description, but we are getting the macro shot would be the type of composition and the shot type at the same time. We have dynamic off-centered composition, showcases the abandoned building, vibrant greens telling stories. The composition showcases dramatic angles, which is good. That's good. That's creative composition, emphasizing decay and rebirth. Okay, so these aren't bad. This is a good start to creating these prompts. We can get a lot more specific, but this prompt generator here will give you some basic prompts, and it allows you to generate multiple prompts at a time if you like. I do like making sure that my prompt generators allow for doing random prompts like this, and this is another reason why I don't try to avoid using example prompts. I'm a purist when it comes to like making sure that the rules dictate the structure instead of using examples to dictate the structure. And I really try to get that out of my primary prompts, but sometimes because of how long they are, it requires that as a reinforcement. But being that as it may, we can try a couple more examples here to kind of see what else it'll do. 5 prompts, random, mediums, and subjects. Let's try that. So we're going to do 5 prompts again. And the fact that it gives us reliably these prompts with the spaces in between means that this is not doing too bad. This is doing really good. Orange tiger, an ethereal silver full moon, things are like okay. We got background, highlighting tigers. The composition employs the rule of thirds. Invites centered composition. Composition uses leading lines. Okay, drawing attention. To the barn. Okay, that's an interesting one. Let's try that one. I've actually never seen any of my prompt generators use one called leading lines. Throw that in there. Try that. That's actually really cool. So as you're looking at this image, the way it is composed, and I'm not, a professional artist. I didn't take college around art. I did take a lot of art classes, but the way this is composed is it does draw the attention to the barn. Like you're looking away, but your eyes are pulled towards this barn that stands out against the background and against the foreground, and the line kind of draws you in on that. That's really cool. I like that. So I'm going to kind of call it there. We may do another video in doing some more advanced stuff, like incorporating the ability to specify text. Flux really does like having the text specification and stylization at the beginning of the prompt, and I'm going to show you a real quick example of this. So we have it on my Flux prompt here. So we're going to do a we'll go digital illustration of a old English tavern exterior showing a hanging wooden sign that says Clifford's in stylized lettering. Let's see what it does. Yep, got it. So what it does here, puts text, letters, and words that says Clifford's in stylized lettering on a weathered wooden sign hanging from iron brackets on an old. So like if you were to copy that and take that over here, and it does it flawlessly. So yeah, it's just, that's just how Flux likes it, is having something at the beginning that kind of describes that and adds detail around that, but then adds the background and everything, primary content and everything. So we'll do another video and we'll start going into some of the more advanced stuff on how to structure your prompt generator to intuitively grab that and incorporate that. So appreciate you listening to the video. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out and gets me motivated to produce great content like this for you, so you can really further what you're trying to do. So we'll talk to y'all later.